Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now. We have Sameet Chavan joining us on the show now. Very good afternoon to you, Sameet. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. And Sameet, the first stock that you're highlighting for us is ICICI Prudential. How is this one looking at the charts to you? No doubt that over the last few hours, we've seen a sharp spike come about in the stock. But over a medium term, how is it looking?
The entire space has been buzzing since morning. If you see ICICI Pro, this has been steadily moving higher since last 1.5 months. Today, this particular stock has managed to surpass its recent hurdle 545.45, and it's been maintaining its position above that important level. So, going ahead, we would expect the stock, retesting its important swing highs of say 570, 572 in probably next couple of weeks time. So overall, the bias remains positive, and the stock has now confirmed its head of higher bottom formation on daily time frame chart. So that suggests that any dip from current level is likely to be bought.
Okay, keeping an eye out on ICICI Pro on the technicals. Let's move on, talk about PSP Projects. Why is this one in focus? So what we understand is that the company has actually won some orders of around 386 crores. It's when you look at it, one of its construction and maintenance of human and biological gallery at the Science City in Ahmedabad has won a 286 crore order, which needs to be completed within 18 months, and the other order is of around 118 crores. This is for a construction of a commercial building ORXY at the Gift City in Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, and that will be completed within a time period of 24 months. So on the back of these couple of order wins, PSP Projects was buzzing in trade, but as of now given up those morning gains and down almost 2.25% share.
All right, let's put the spotlight then to the top losers. Actually, among the top losers on the Nifty, that is JSW Steel, Tata Steel. If you look at it, SAIL also is in focus in today's trading session. Why is JSW Steel and Tata Steel actually slipping in trade is because CLSA has come out with a note, and they're saying that the ramp up of the blast furnace based steel capacity in India over the next 3 years is likely to weigh on the spreads and also shift the incremental margins from steel conversion to raw materials. They're saying that the profit pool shift to miners from steel mills, and they have also said that the valuation multiples for these Indian steel companies have risen in the last 18 months, while steel prices to spreads have actually corrected. So therefore, they've gone ahead and cut Tata Steel's rating to a sell from an outperform. They have actually gone ahead and cut the target also marginally to about 135 rupees per share from 145 rupees per share. They've downgraded JSW Steel to a sell from an underperform rating with the target price at around 730, while earlier it was 810 rupees per share, while they've retained or maintained their underperformance stance on JSPL. They're saying that the company is better off as weak industry spreads will be more than offsetted by their margin expansion project. So on back of that, you can see these steel counters are actually sulking in trade today. No doubt, SAIL is trading higher.
Let's move on and talk about Zaggle. Ansh, this one has been in focus in the last week as well. Today also, again, it's in focus. What's the news flow here that is keeping the stock abuzz?
Is up over 5% in trade today, and they have actually entered into an agreement with Axis Bank, and the contract is to carry out activities such as sales, distribution, marketing and campaigning bundled with their expense management to drive forex card spends and greater usage of the software. The time period for this contract is for around 5 years, and also if you see on chart, the stock seems to have touched record high level and it is up by 70% this year. For those reasons, the stock is in focus today.
All right, moving on then, Ankita, let's talk about Wellspun Corp and why is this in the spotlight?
Well, yes, Wellspun Corp is in focus today because the company's step-down subsidiary Syntex Advanced Plastic Limited, or SAPL, has proposed to set up a manufacturing facility of plastic pipes and water storage tanks in Madhya Pradesh, and this will be for a total investment of 400 crore rupees. Now, the project is likely to be implemented over the next 6 quarters and create employment opportunities of about 350 people. And on the back of this news flow, Wellspun is in focus today. It is trading with the gains of more than 0.5% right now.
Okay, let's move on. And Sameet, you picked out BEL for us. What's the chart now indicating for BEL? We had seen a bit of a run-up that came in on BEL before, but the last 6 months, 50 to 53% return. What's the view now?
So this has been a stellar mover over the past few months, and there has been no stopping for this relentless move. Recently, also we saw a minor pullback in this counter, which was a part of its longer degree time frame bullish zone. So overall, stock cooled off a bit, then found support around its major levels of say 170, 180, and again now it has gained some momentum. So overall, the bias remains positive, and since it is now trading in an uncharted territory, it would be very difficult to project levels. But as far as the immediate levels are concerned, 215, 218, these are the next levels to watch out.
Let's move on to the next one and let's talk about SJVN. That one is buzzing away in trade as well. And why is that so? Now, it's wholly owned subsidiary, that's SJVN Green Energy, has bagged a 200 megawatt of capacity in a tariff bid. It's a competitive bid conducted by GUVNL, that's for development of solar power projects of around 1,125 crores. This is a solar park that will be made also in Khavda. The tariff of the same is going to be around 2.66 per unit. It's a build, own and operate basis kind of a project that is happening. And the tentative cost, like I mentioned, is 1,100 crores. So let's keep an eye out on that today. The stock is trading with gains of around 1.3% on the back of this project. So keeping an eye out on that.
All right, moving on, and then let's talk about Tata Power Summit, and how is this one looking to you on the charts? Power sector as a whole has been in focus of late, and this particular stock is not stopping to surprise investors. 52% uptick coming in. Do you see scope for some more upside?
Looks like this stock continues to catch the overall attention. If you see, recently we saw some consolidation happening in this counter, but again in last 3 days, the buying has come in this particular counter from the lower level. Today, if you see, since morning, this stock has been buzzing. It has already surpassed its small concession zone. 387, 388 was acting as a resistance for nearly 3 weeks. It has surpassed with some authority now. And if you look at the volume activity, it has risen substantially. So that provides some sort of credence to the move. So overall, we expect this stock to retrace its recent highs 405, 409. These are the next levels to watch out for. And on the low side now, the strong base has been formed in the zone of 380, 85. So any dip from current level is likely to get bought.
All right, let's shift focus. Let's talk about Angel One, and that particular counter is in focus. Actually, they came out with a note earlier this morning, or rather exchange filing earlier this morning about their monthly business outlook. And on back of that, you can see the stock actually trading higher at one point in time, trading higher by about 4% or so. Now it's pared some of the gains. They've said that their average client funding book was higher by about 56.7% on a year-on-year basis in the month of February. They've also said their average daily orders have seen an uptick of about 97% on a year-on-year basis. Also, if you look at their data on a month-on-month basis, also there's no disappointment on that particular front. They have seen a rise on a month-on-month basis as well when you talk about the client base for the company. So on back of a good solid monthly data coming in for Angel One, the stock is trading higher by approximately 2.6% now.
Let's move on and talk about the next stock on the technicals. And Sameet, you picked out HDFC Life for us. This one is buzzing away in trade this month. When you look at it as well, today itself, good gains is what it's finally seeing coming in, because before that it was a bit subdued in trade. So what's the view now for HDFC Life? Is it turned around? Could we expect this up move to continue?
It would be early, sign to have this overall tide turning from the downwards to upwards now. Overall, this stock has been one of the laggards since last many months now. Recently, we saw the stock consolidating in a range which was probably a process of forming a base around its important support level. And today, since morning, this stock has been buzzing. It's on a roll. And if you look at the volume activity, the stock is likely to sustain at higher level. So overall, on the daily time frame chart, at least this stock has given a breakout, which would be an early sign of its revival. So once it surpasses 618, 620 on a closing basis, we would see the stock moving towards 635, 638 in probably next couple of trading sessions. So the level to watch out for would be around 620 on a closing basis, and once the stock surpasses it, we would see extension of this move towards 638. So overall bias remains positive, and on the lower side now 600, 595 should act as a very strong.
On that note, we'll actually slip into a break on this edition of Market Fatafat. When you come back, more stocks to discuss, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, and you're watching Market Fatafat on ET now. Let's keep it going with those movers in trade today. And the next stock that you picked out for us, Anish, today is Brigade Enterprises. Why is this one in focus? What's the news, sir?
Right, so the stock is slightly positive today. The company has launched a new residential project in Bangalore, which is spread over 500,000 square feet, comprising of 525 units and 2 towers. The project has a revenue potential of over 380 crores as well, and this launch is part of their actually 50-acre township, which has a total project size of around 6.1 million square feet. Also on chart, the stock is actually currently stuck between 12 session consolidation phase.
All right, moving on, Ankita, let's talk about Torrent Power then, and why is this particular stock in focus?
Well, yes, Torrent Power is in focus today because they have received a letter of award from REMC Limited for setting up of grid-connected renewable energy power projects with or without the storage of supply of 100 megawatts round-the-clock power in Maharashtra. Now, the tariff for this is going to be 4.25 rupees per kWh, and the contract period shall be for 25 years from the commissioning of the project. Now, the project cost is likely to be around 2,700 crore rupees for approximately 0.325 megawatts of wind and solar capacity. Also, the other piece of news on Torrent Power is the fact that Torrent Power is likely to supply the crunch period power to meet the country's high demand during the summer from NTPC. 388 MOUs of guaranteed power is likely to be supplied during the period of March 16th to June 30th of 2024 period. Now, the minimum revenue generated from this is likely to be around 440 crore rupees, and in the back of this fact, Torrent Power is in focus today, but currently it is absolutely flat, trading with a cut of 0.3%.
I want to talk about the next stock that is in focus, and that we have M&M. This one, okay, before M&M, let's go across to Sameet. Sameet, you picked out Lupin for us today from the Pharma Pack. What's the view on Lupin now, and do you think this will see a good up move from here on at these levels?
See, the entire pharma space, has been enjoying its long dream run since last many months now. Lupin, which has been consolidating of late, for nearly 3 weeks, it has come out of its recent, slumber phase, and the stock has resumed its high degree of trend as well. So overall, we expect this stock, continue to move higher since the stock is now trading at its, 8 years highest level. We foresee this stock, continuing this move. 1700 is the immediate, hurdle. But once this stock surpasses the psychological mark of 1700, will not be surprised to see even, this rally getting extended towards 1760, 1780 in coming week. So overall, the bias remains positive on the low side now since the stock has been consolidating of late. We can see a strong support, that has been found somewhere around 1500, 1550 for this particular counter.
Okay, let's move on and now talk about M&M, and then why is this one in focus today? We are seeing CLSA that has actually come out with an overall note on premiumization trends as well as the auto sector. When they talk about it, they've downgraded M&M to an outperform rating from previous buy rating. They've hiked the target price though marginally, 2,115 rupees per share from previous target price of 2,074 rupees per share. The main downgrade that they've given for the stock is nothing in terms of fundamental. They just believe that the stock has already seen such a good run up. So because of that, they may see a bit of a correction coming in, and that is why they're keeping the rating for M&M at buy. I beg your pardon, outperform from previous buy rating. So keeping an eye out on M&M today, down almost 2% in trade.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Biocon and why is this particular counter in focus. Firstly, let's take stock of the stock price of it. Okay, it's given up all of its morning gains. It was trading higher by about 3% or so. The company has sent its unit, that is a Biocon Biologics visual impairment treatment drug, which is known as ESFLE, to actually launch in Canada by July 1st, 2025. On the back of that, you saw the stock actually see a sharp up move right after opening, but now it's given up those gains. It's actually seen best day in about 2 weeks or so, but yes, now given up some of its gains.
Okay, let's move on and talk about MGL then on the charts. And Sameet, what's the view for MGL? Where do you see it headed from here on in terms of an up move? Last 6 months, almost a 43-45% return is what we have seen. Still expecting an upside?
Clear, this stock is, continuing its strong upsurge. If you see, the stock has been outperforming its peer counters, ICL as well. Overall, in last couple of months, stock has already rallied quite sharply. In this process, it has formed a bullish flag pattern and it's on the verge of giving breakout from this important technical pattern as well. 1545 is the level to watch out for. Once this stock surpasses 1545, the pattern gets activated, and then probably we can see this stock heading towards 1650 or even towards 1690 in coming days. So overall, the bias remains positive, and the breakout point to watch out for would be around 1545 range.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Mahanagar Gas. But with that, we come to the end of this edition of Market Fatafat. Thank you so much, Sameet, Ansh, Ankita, as well as Aditya for joining us on the show.